Lily comes into the store asking Nick to come see a new DJ with her, but Nick turns her down and claims Xander and Vida can't either. As the two guys take off, Vida says she's going to hang behind and catch up later. The next scene we see that she ends up going to the concert with Lily. As they're listening to DJ Fly, they comment about how the music is hypnotic. Lily's mom calls and tells her to go back home, leaving Vida at the concert alone. We then see that DJ Fly is really a monster. Vida comes back to headquarters with a very nonchalant attitude toward the rest of the Rangers. They tell her how worried they were about her as they haven't seen her since the day before. A monster then challenges the Rangers, and when they go out to face him, Vida ends up taking the minions all by herself. The monster Korak then grows, and the Rangers get into their Zords and start fighting. This abruptly ends when the sun comes up, which hurts Vida, with the monster leaving as they tend to her. At the store, the Rangers then question Lily about what happened at the concert, but she didn't notice anything different. Madison walks in with Vida looking very pale with sunglasses on. She says she's okay and is just suffering from a little sensitivity to sunlight. Chip notices Vida's condition and takes out a How to Spot a Vampire book. In the back room, we see Vida take off her sunglasses and reveal that she is indeed a vampire. The next day, Vida comes back to headquarters in a great mood, saying she feels well rested. Madison asks her to say something to her fans on video, and she strikes the bat dance pose, which is probably way over the head of the intended audience of the show. Chip, trying to expose her, offers her a red liquid which she takes, but spits out because it's tomato juice. Chip reveals that he's a member of a vampire club and he knows Vida is a vampire. The other Rangers laugh and Vida teases him. That is until after they leave, and she reveals to Chip that he was right, but he stops her with garlic.
I gotta grab a bite before I go.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I'll stay here and go in with V.
By the way, Chip, you were right. I am a vampire.
Garlic clove! I knew it! You're a vampire! This is so great. Oh, well, except for you. You're a blood-sucking night demon.
Outside, they talk, and she reveals she doesn't want to be a vampire, and Chip deduces that the DJ is probably responsible. While the conversation is happening, Vida has issues holding her bloodlust back, so Chip continues to protect himself with garlic.
You know I'd never hurt you.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, there's a very fine line between hurting me and biting me to give me eternal life. It must have happened when you went to listen to that DJ. We find him and we'll get to the bottom of this. I'll call the others and let them know what we're up to.
No. They already think you're off your rocker. Let's get as much info as we can, then tell them.
This could be a two-clove night.
The two head back to the club where DJ Fly is still performing. They notice that all the kids there are in a trance. Nikolai comes in, bragging that she now has 2 Rangers under her spell, but Chip shows that he was just pretending as he had earplugs on. They fight, but Chip falls short, attempting to protect Vida, and Nikolai sends the tranced vampire kids out to destroy the city. Back at headquarters, the Rangers are concerned when Chip and Vida never came back to work, and tell Udana about Chip's vampire theory. They are surprised to find out Udana's response is that vampires do exist, basically telling them not to dismiss it. Madison then reviews her video from earlier, which Vida does not show up in at all, confirming that her sister is now a vampire. The Rangers then find Vida and Chip confronting Flytrap and the rest of the vampire kids. As they're fighting, the sun starts to come up, resulting in the kids being negatively affected, and the Rangers realizing they have to get the kids back to normal before they're destroyed by the sun. They then destroy Flytrap, and all the kids are back to normal. They head back to the store and celebrate, as Chip starts using vampire chalk in the store around Vida, showing that if she was still a vampire, she couldn't cross it. When she tries, she can't. Somehow, she's still a vampire.
Hey, babe, we got any Coltrane on CD?
Let me check.
V, are you all right?
Back at headquarters, Vida tries to tell the Rangers that she's fine and they don't need to contain her, but lunges for Lily when she tries to have her back. They deduce that Necroli is probably the vampire whose spell she's under, which kept her a vampire even after Flytrap was destroyed. Lily decides to stay with Vida as the other Rangers try to find out for sure who is behind Vida's condition. Eventually, they confront Korag, who reveals to them that Necroli is the one they're looking for. When asked why he's helping them, Korag reveals that if they survive Necroli, then they will be worthy of facing him. Back at headquarters, while that's happening, Necroli calls to Vida to get her to come to her, resulting in her faking fainting to get Lily to let her out, which it looks like she does. When the Rangers come back, they find Vida is gone and Lily believing she's stuck in the circle, not understanding that if she's not a vampire, the chalk has no effect on her. They erase the chalk to let her out, but this eventually reveals to be a ruse, as the real Lily comes in explaining how Vida tried to trick her, meaning that really was Vida in the circle and they, not Lily, let her out. The Rangers question Chip on how to kill vampires, and he says Necroli is the queen, so she can't be killed, but any other vampire can be killed via a stake through the heart. They then go to the Xenotube, which tells them to kill a vampire queen they need a Dawn Crystal. Udana comes in with ingredients to make a Dawn Crystal and says they must hurry or they could lose Vida forever. Chip stays with Udana to make the crystal. Back in Necroli's lair, she's telling Vida how lucky she is to be hers, and she has abilities regular vampires don't, and gives her a gift of apples to give to the Rangers. Vida shows up back in the store claiming to be fine. They take her back to headquarters where she claims to have defeated Necroli by herself. She gives the Rangers the apples from Necroli. Chip questions her weird behavior and stops the other Rangers from eating the apples just to see the apples rot in front of them and Vida run off. When they catch up to her, Vida at the orders of Necroli fight the Rangers as Chip goes after Necroli. Chip blows the Dawn Crystal into his crossbow, but Vida then fights him. Chip gets through to Vida by talking about their past, but Vida pretends to still be on Necroli's control. She stands in front of Necroli, but gives Chip her pose, letting him know she's herself. Chip shoots the crystal, and Vida gets out of the way just in time for it to hit Necroli. The Rangers give Necroli one final blow, and Vida is back to normal. After a robot battle with Korag, we see that Necroli is still alive. Back at the store, Vida tries to convince Lily that the vampire thing was all a joke, but Lily nervously runs out. We then find out that Lily is really Necroli's daughter. While this isn't the only time a Ranger has become a vampire, this is the only time a female one has, though the original Pink Ranger Kimberly does become evil briefly in Turbo, a Power Rangers movie. Speaking of Kimberly, if you want to see her actually play a vampire, actress Amy Jo Johnson does have a small role in the Lost Boys knockoff Cold Hearts Eternity Bites.
No, you were not going to bat your eyelashes out of this one.
Sorry, just eat this.
Oh, isn't that attractive? You gotta eat.
Jesus Christ, how can you call this eating? This is horrible. I don't want any part of this.
You don't have a choice, okay? You have to. Please, I'm not gonna just stand around and watch you slowly kill yourself, Lisha. Here. It's good, come on. Take it to Crony. He's pretty honest about the good stuff, please. Take this. What?
That's not good. It makes me feel worse.
Oh, Christ. That's great. Just fantastic. I'll have to chase down the reason that. I gotta muster something up for you, okay?
I can do it.
No, you can't, sweetie. You're gonna come out of the bed. You can barely stand up.
I can do it. I just need a boost, okay?
Okay, baby.
I'm sorry. I take too much.
No. Olive.
Thanks for watching. If you like this content, please leave a like and subscribe and hit the bell icon to know every time I update. If you want to help my channel grow, please check out my Patreon where you can get access to content early as well as see the content that can't be uploaded here on YouTube. Link will be in the description. Until next time.